Sarah, and I'm going to be taking you through a short introductory yoga sequence today. And there's 3 areas that we're going to focus on. The big one is knowing how to use your breath and to breathe. So deep inhales through the nose and deep exhales through the nose. The second is going to be a focus on balance. So combining the breath work that we learn with balancing postures. And then the last is going to be breath with movement. So again, taking that breath work that we learn and applying it to different types of movements. So the inhales and exhales are timed, and you're able to keep your heart rate at a very consistent low level, so it also keeps you really calm. And then as we go through all these today, it'll also be important to just kind of focus on what you're doing right now, not anything you did earlier in the day or what you're going to be doing later on, but just being very present. I was a former gymnast, so these are some key things that I'd really like to share with you that I kind of wish I had known when I was an athlete. One of my big things was whenever I was doing something new or a balancing posture, I held my breath all the time, which we all know is not the way to do it, because what happens, you go to breathe and you can be all over the place. So hopefully I can provide you some techniques today that you can use when you're in the gym, use when you're at home, or any time that you might be practicing. Yoga is really fun. It's very, very beneficial. We're going to be doing some strength stuff as well, so I want to kind of challenge you just a little bit, but I'm really excited to take you through this today. So we're just going to get started in a seated position, Sukhasana. So you can cross either at your shins or at your ankles. It doesn't matter which foot you have in front, whatever's more comfortable for you. If this is too much on the hips, if you do have tight hips, you can always sit on a blanket so your hips are up a little bit higher. But let's really think about rooting down through your sit bones, sitting up nice and tall. We don't want to be slouching, and then we don't want our shoulders up in our ears. So one thing that I'm going to cue throughout the practice today is keeping your shoulders down and your chest open. When you're doing any type of dance, turning, jumps, our shoulders are always down and relaxed, but when we're doing something more active like tumbling, or if you're on bars, you're always pressing down. We don't want that today. We want to stay nice and relaxed and open, okay? Thinking really long necks makes it a little bit easier to breathe. So let's gently close the eyes, sit up nice and tall, palms are facing up, and just start breathing in through the nose and out of the nose. And notice how you're feeling. Is your heart beating really quickly? Are you thinking about 10,000 other things that you need to do? If so, that's all okay. But let's try and now focus on the breath and coming to a very present state. And we'll do a couple of rounds of breath work together, so I will guide you through. Let's just start with one inhale through the nose, and then let's let it out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Back to nostril breathing. So let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale, fill the belly with air for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's blink open the eyes. Let's take the arms up. So on an inhale, gathering a lot of space and air, bring them all the way up, palms touch, and then exhale the hands down to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, take the arms up, palms touch at the top, maybe you look up, and then exhale down to heart center. Really nice. Now let's come over into tabletop position. Wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under the hip. Fingertips are spread wide, pressing down through the palms. Belly is in, shoulders are back, long neck. And now your knees are also hip width apart. Coming into a couple rounds of cow-cat, and I'll cue the breath. So on an inhale, lift the chin, bend the back for cow pose. Exhale, cat, rounding through the spine, separating the shoulder blades. This should feel really nice. Inhale, cow, press down through the palms, shoulders back, neck long. Exhale, cat. Last time, inhale, cow pose. Should also feel a nice stretch in your abs. And then exhale, cat. Really tuck it in, chin in, and come back to a neutral spine. Great job. Let's tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into downward dog. Now in your downward dog, your hands are still going to be spread, your fingertips are spread wide, but we want to have the weight in between your thumb and your index finger. We don't want to roll to the outside of the hand. So think about pressing down through there and then pushing the ground down and away from you. By doing that, you're going to notice that you're going to have a little bit more space in your upper back and be able to elongate the spine just a bit more. You can have a slight bend in the knee. Feet are hip width apart. This pose is really nice for lengthening the spine and also stretching out the hips and the hamstrings. Let's take one more inhale and exhale it out through the mouth. Open up the jaw. Inhale, lift the heels. Bend the knees, look in front of you, and then step your feet in between your hands. Inhale, palms to shins, halfway lift, back is flat. Exhale, forward fold. You can have a gentle bend in the knee. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's gain some more length through the spine. Gaze is slightly in front of you. Exhale, forward fold. Last time. Inhale, palms to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, and then on an inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Mountain pose. I'm going to face you. So in our mountain pose, we're going to really press the ground away through our feet. You want to have the weight evenly distributed through the entire foot. Your legs are really strong. You're lifting up through your hips. We don't want to sag on either side. Belly's in tight, shoulders are open, chest is open. Palms facing forward. Having a long neck. And then gently close your eyes. Feel where you are in space, and maybe you can make yourself a little bit longer and taller. So let's try and think about someone taking a string from the top of your head and pulling you up just a bit so you're getting just a bit more space in between each and every vertebrae. Now let's kind of play around with a bit of movement. So lean side to side and shift the weight in your feet. So you come forward onto the balls of your feet, you move backwards onto the heels. Notice how that feels different and how it makes it more difficult to balance. Let's open the eyes and come to a standing position. And now notice how you feel when your feet are pressed down and you're standing straight and strong. Mountain pose or Tadasana is the foundation of every yoga pose that you do, every standing pose. But it's also very integral in gymnastics. Think about all the turns that you do, any type of jump, even when you tumble, you have to have a very strong foundation. You can't be sagging, you can't be loose, you have to have a lot of strength. So think about pressing down through the feet as the ground is pressing up against you, and always being strong and tall. We'll work on this through a couple of standing poses today, also using the breath. All right? So coming again to the top of the mat, belly stays in. Let's inhale the arms up, and then exhale, bending the elbows out to the side and cactusing the arms to open up the chest, bending from the upper back. Inhale, let's bring them up. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, open up the chest. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold with a flat back. Inhale, palms to shins, halfway lift, belly in. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into a plank, and let's hold. We're gonna do a little bit of strength so we can match our breath with our half push-up or chaturanga. So again, fingertips spread wide, belly in, gaze slightly in front of your hands. On an inhale, shift forward slightly. Exhale, chaturanga or half push-up. Inhale, push back up. Inhale, push forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, come up. Shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, push back up. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, push back up. Again, let's shift forward slightly. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, downward facing dog. So even when you're doing strength, because we all probably do a lot of conditioning, it's important that you breathe when you're doing those movements because it allows oxygen to get to your muscles and you fatigue much slower. So whether you're doing a pull-up or a push-up, always make sure you're matching the breath to the movement. Let's take 1 more inhale. Exhale it out through the mouth. Inhale, come up on the toes. Bend the knees, look in between the hands and step to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, palms touch. And then exhale, the hands come down to heart center. Coming into a standing or balancing pose called tree pose. So both feet facing forward. Hands are gonna come on your hips. And let's shift the weight into the right foot. Make sure you don't sag, we don't wanna drop, you wanna still be straight and strong. Inhale, the left toes forward. And then exhale, turn your left toes out. And your foot will come to either your ankle, your calf, or let's pull it all the way up to the inner thigh. Still pressing down through the right toes. Left knee is out and back to the side, shoulders are back, neck is long. Find a spot to focus on so you can maintain your balance. And then on an inhale, bring the hands to heart center. How's your breath doing? Are we still taking long inhales and long exhales through the nose? Let's take this a step further. Inhale the arms up. Let's grow our tree. Now we'll do some breath work, standing in tree pose. So let's take an inhale through the nose. Exhale the hands together. Inhale to lift up and then exhale the arms down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. Inhale, let's bring the arms up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms touch and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale the arms up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms touch and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms to your hips, hands to hips. Without bringing the leg down, inhale the knee up to the chest and let's hold. A little bit of hip flexor strength here, as well as getting into the abs. So let's hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Set the left foot down. Shake it out if you need to. I know my right side's a little taxed after that. Hands on your hips. Let's shift over into your left leg. Inhale to lift up. Let's lift up those right toes. Turn the toes out to the side. Exhale. And then let's bring the foot to either the ankle, the calf, or guide it up to the inner thigh. Make sure it's not on the knee. You never want any pressure on your knees. That's really dangerous. So if you can't get it all the way up, that's okay. It's not about getting to this part of the pose. It's about being able to balance and breathe. And even if your foot's at your ankle or your calf, really think about pressing the right knee out. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, grow the tree, arms come up. Still, the shoulders are out of the ears. Think about having a nice long neck. Let's touch the palms. Exhale, bring the arms down. And let's go for those rounds of breath again. So on an inhale, the arms come up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms touch and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms touch and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms to your hips without the foot coming down. Inhale the knee up to the chest. Really bring it up as high as you can. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Set the toes down. Top of the mat, mountain pose. So I'm going to take you through what we call a sun salutation. So it's a mix of the forward folds, the half push-up, and an upward dog to really stretch the front side of the body as well as strengthen the low back. And we're going to do all those with 1 breath per movement, and we'll move through it pretty slow. So follow along, and on an inhale, let's lift the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into your plank and hold. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog, straighten the arms, untuck the toes so the top of the foot is down on the mat and open up the chest. This should feel really nice on your upper body as well as in the hip. And then exhale, downward facing dog. A sun salutation is used in a yoga class to neutralize the spine and also to rinse out all the work that you just did. So it can feel really great after doing a challenging sequence of either standing poses or a quick pace group of standing poses. Belly stays in. Let's bring our feet together. And then on an inhale, let's bring the right leg up. Exhale, let's place the right foot in between your hands and come into a runner's lunge. So you're on the ball of your back foot. Come up onto your fingertips. Bring the right foot just a little bit to the right and then pull the right hip back. On an inhale, arms come up for Crescent Pose. Belly stays in, hips are square to the front. Shoulders are down, neck is long. From here, we're going to come into a one-legged standing pose called Warrior 3. So we did tree pose to prep for this. So on an inhale, let's gain some length, palms touch. Exhale the hands down to heart center. Bend the back knee. And then bring the chest forward, shoulders back, belly tight. And then on an inhale, press up off of the back toes and lift the back leg. Shoulders stay back, hip is down, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend back into the knee and step back into crescent. Arms stay up. Maybe you touch your palms and look up on an inhale. And then exhale, plant the hands to frame your front foot. Step back into your plank. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga or half push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip the toes, pull the shoulders back. And then exhale, downward dog. You'll notice that it feels kind of nice to go through those sequences of poses after you've done something that's a little bit more challenging. So let's bring the toes back together. And then on an inhale, let's lift the left leg high. And then exhale, place the foot in between the hands. Let's bring the left foot just to the side a bit more. On the toes of the back, right foot. Strengthen the leg. And then on an inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Pull the left hip back, the right hip forward. Find an even amount of weight on the front foot so you can prepare to balance. Inhale, gain some length, and exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Inhale, lean forward with a flat back, gentle bend in the right knee, and then on an inhale, lifting up, coming into warrior three. Shoulders are back, pressing down through the left foot, up out of the left hip, and the right hip is turned down to the mat. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knee. Exhale, come back to Crescent Pose. Inhale the arms up. Place the palms together. Maybe you look up on an inhale, and then exhale, plant the hands down. Step back into your plank. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga or half push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward dog. Really nice. So on an inhale, let's lift the heels, bend the knees, and here you have the option to either step all the way through and sit on your bottom, or if you want to have some fun and maybe challenge yourself a little bit, inhale to lift on the toes, exhale, bend the knees, jump up, and then bring the legs all the way through. Okay? If you want to do that, it's just a matter of pressing down through the ground, tucking the legs up, really using the core to keep the knees up in the chest. Okay, one more little round of breath work with some strength, and then we will be done. So we're gonna sit up, bring our hands behind our legs, come into Navasana or boat pose. So on an inhale, let's bring the knees up. And we're just gonna hold here. It's a little bit of core strength. But if there's anywhere that I find that I hold my breath, it's in any type of ab work. So whether it's a V-up or a sit-up, I'm always holding my breath for some reason. So inhale, let's bring the arms forward. Back is flat. Let's take one more inhale together. And then exhale, open up, straighten the legs. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. And then inhale, back up. Place the feet down, the hands back behind you. And then on your inhale, lift your chest or lift your hips up, opening up through the chest to do reverse tabletop. This is also a nice counter pose. So since we just worked the abs and the anterior of the body, it's nice to now stretch that part. Exhale, let's sit the hips back down. Place the feet out in front of you. And we'll do one more final forward fold. So inhale the arms up, let's gain some length. Exhale, forward fold. Grabbing the outsides of the feet. Let's try and pull our chest forward. So you want to think about getting your heart either to your knees or almost to your shins. And then as you leverage the breath, maybe you can come further forward. So it becomes just as much of a back stretch as it does for the legs. Inhale, let's come back up. Let's scoot all the way forward. And then bring the arms in front and then slowly lower all the way down to your mat. Bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. And we're just gonna do one last spinal twist. Very simple, but let's focus on the breath as we do this. So release the hands from the knees, shift your hips slightly over to the right, and then on an inhale, bring the knees in, and then exhale, allow the knees to fall to the left. Bend the arm on the right, your right arm like a T or cactus it out to the side. And then let's look over to the right arm. Notice how you're breathing here. You still want to have deep inhales. And then as you exhale through the nose, you're getting rid of all that old stale air. It's okay if your knees aren't coming all the way down, but it's very important that you keep both shoulders on the mat. Inhale, let's come back to center. Bring the knees back into your chest to neutralize the spine and reset. Bring the toes down, cactus the left arm out. Shift the hips over to the left. And then as you exhale, let's bring the knees over to the right. Look at the left arm. Filling the left side body with air. Let's take one more inhale together. And let it out through the nose. Bring the knees back. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you rock side to side just to give yourself a nice little back massage. And then let's rock forward and back, coming up to a seated position. The same seated position as when we started today. So if you can remember which foot you had in front when we were first in Sukhasana, let's put that one back in front now. Hands down on your knees. And let's again gently close the eyes. So let's do a body scan. Maybe when we first started, you felt a lot of tightness in the hips. Maybe you felt more tightness in the chest, or your breath was just very, very quick and short. So your heart rate maybe was a bit higher. Now as you sit here, take note of how you feel. Do you feel a bit more calm? Are you thinking about maybe less things that are going on around you? Were you very focused when you were doing your balancing poses? Having a good understanding of your body awareness and how even your emotions or mental state can change through a time period of even 15 or 20 minutes is very important. It's important to be in touch with yourself and understand when something's bothering you, whether that's physically or emotionally, and have the tools to help you come back to a more centered state. So the next time that maybe you're nervous to try a new skill, or maybe that's nervous excitement, but your heart rate's up really high, you can use some of the breath work that we did today to bring that down a little bit. Focusing on the breath also helps you kind of shut out any type of negative self-talk. So if you have a tape recorder in your head that's like, you can't do this yet, it's too hard for you, go back, take a couple of breaths, and really focus on that and keep the bad talk out of your mind. I know it's very easy for me to say that, but I've also been in that position before, and that's also one of those things I wish I had known, was the ability to focus on myself and not the stories that maybe I'm making up. The mind is really, really powerful, so it's important to feed it very positive information. So maybe every time you say, oh, I can't do this, you tell yourself, oh, but I've done this so many times, I know I can do it. And the more that you do that, the more confidence you will build, and the better off that you're going to feel. So let's take another inhale together through the nose. And let it out through the nose. Again, through the nose. And exhale it out through the mouth. last time, and this time let's take the arms up on your inhale, really taking up a lot of space, gaining a lot of length, touching the palms at the top, exhaling it out through the nose, coming down to heart center. And thank you all so much for practicing with me today. My name is Sarah. If you have any questions, I'm sure you can ask Nicole, but I'm happy to answer anything that you might have in the future, and hopefully I will be able to see you guys again. Namaste, and I hope you have a great day and stay